if we look to the answer as to why for so many years we achieved so much, prospered as no other people on earth, it was because here in this land we unleashed the energy and individual genius of man to a greater extent than has ever been done before.
I am personally terribly excited about this morning. And there are a number of reasons for it. Obviously, emotionally, I'm very connected with the Vaughns, with the United West, and we call Israel the land. As a matter of fact, when I call my friends, they ask me, are you in the land? They don't ask me I'm in Israel or in the States or elsewhere. They ask me in Hebrew, "Ata ba'aretz." And I would say, Ken, yes, ani ba'aretz, I'm in the land. What land? There's not a question what land. So we are in a very interesting place. Yes, to be on the land is to fight for the land, it's to secure the land, and to make sure that the land is protected. But the only way you can say that you have an attachment in the land is to leave a part of yourself in the land. Planting trees in Israel are a tradition that is being kept now for many years. There's actually a holiday in the middle of the year that all kids in Israel have little baskets with trees in them, and they go to the fields together with their chaperones and school teachers, and they plant trees. Most significant tree in Israel, as you noticed, is the olive tree. And why so? Olive tree perhaps can live forever. I don't know if you can destroy an olive tree unless you burn it. So to plant a tree in the name of a person in Israel is what we call a mitzvah. Mitzvah is a good deed. And there's nothing greater than leave behind a part of the person in Israel. The Vaughns last year told me, and I mentioned it I think yesterday, that Aaron said that if America ever turned her back on Israel, he would come to fight for Israel, not for America. As a soldier, that wasn't just something that was said to me. I'm a soldier, I'm a commander, I have people fought with me, people that fell next to me, and that meant so much. So I know Aaron is watching us now. I know he's here. He was here last year. And what we do today is predestined. Not that I knew what I was going to do immediately when we were last year, but God put it in my heart and soul, and slowly it started to brew. And the momentum started to become not an idea, but a giant of an idea. It's not just a tree. It's Aaron's tree and 29 other great men that perished with him on that day. I don't know why it happened. I don't know why many things happen. But we are here for one reason and one reason only. As a soldier and other soldiers here and civilians that understand the minds of soldiers that fight for their country, for their freedom, I'm terribly excited and very emotional. It's a great day. It's a great day for you, Billy and Karen. It's a great day for America, and it's even a greater day for Israel that we are able to plant a tree here for an American hero. Israel is not just a country. Israel is the only country that has a monument for 9/11, with all the names of all the hundreds and thousands that perished. All of them are inscribed. So when we come here to plant the tree, we leave something behind in the soil of Israel, and this is Aaron's tree. God bless you. God bless you. God bless Israel. And God bless the United States of America.
See, this is a great day. This is a great, great day. Aaron's life that he lived, and our God, through that, has honored Aaron and impacted the world after his death than Aaron, I believe, that Aaron could have ever impacted.
Her granddaughter Lila, she was, well, let me just start by saying Aaron's sister Tara is 21 months younger than him, and they grew up best friends. They did everything together. They were completely inseparable. There's probably no one on earth that knew him better than his sister if you have a sibling relationship like that. And so, as you can imagine, Tara was devastated by his death. And when we went to his funeral on August 26th, 2011, his niece, Tara's baby girl, Lila, was almost 3 years old. And on the flight home from Virginia, Lila was sitting in her mother's lap. And she hadn't said a word about Aaron's death in the 3 prior weeks. And she had not said a word in 3 weeks about him dying. And Tara was looking out the airplane window and crying, and she looked at her mother and spoke about Aaron's death for the first time, and she said, "Mom, you don't have to cry. Uncle Aaron is fine." Now just think about that in her little broken 3-year-old language. She hardly spoke full sentences, but this child said these things. And Tara just looked at her and she said, "Okay, baby," and she said, "I saw him last night." And Tara sat there for a minute and didn't know what to say because she didn't want to coerce anything out of her. She wanted her to just be able to say what she saw without creating an idea in her mind about what she saw. And so finally she came up with one question, and she said, "Where, honey?" And she said, "In heaven." And Tara said, "Well, what was he doing?" She said, "He was riding a horse."
She had never seen Aaron.
She'd never seen a horse probably at that time in her life. But that's what God has called some children home to prepare for the Great War. And I believe Aaron was one of them, and I believe those other 29 heroes were those men too. And one thing that you should know, I wear this Crusader's cross on my wrist as an honor to my son. I'm not a tattoo person, never was, and probably shouldn't have gotten that right there, but it was 2 weeks after he died, and the reason I did is because it was such an honor, because Aaron was part of DevGru, SEAL Team 6, Gold Squad, 2 Troop. And I want to say, too, that let me just tell you why I picked this rocket, because this is significant, and I would like to share this with you guys. I think you should, because what Billy and I do in our family is we collect rocks as memorials, just like the story I told in that video last night about the memorial that God commanded the children of Israel to put in the center of the Jordan River. Note that allows us to remember what was significant about that, what act of God was performed on that particular date. We have a box full of rocks in our home with different stories on them, so that we can share them with our children, and our children will share them with their children, the great things God has done in our lives. And so we will take a rock home and we will mark it with this date, and we will always know, and we'll be able to tell our family for generations. The story will be passed down about what happened here today, Ronnie.
The sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Praise God, praise God, praise God.
Amen, man. All right. Woo. Ronnie?
But I want to do a funeral salute in honor of Aaron, if I may.
As you were.
And I want to say too, Dan and Vicki Alley. Where's Dan?
Right here.
There are two people on this trip who actually knew Aaron quite well. We went to church together, and yeah, it's just such a blessing to have you guys here, part of this.
Real honor to be here.
Trying to carry a message between battalions under heavy artillery fire. We're told that on his body was found a diary. On the flyleaf, under the heading, My Pledge, he had written these words: America must win this war. Therefore I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. I will fight cheerfully and do my utmost as if the issue of the whole struggle depended on me alone. We must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. We are Americans.